Right, let's move to this story. Tomorrow morning, it will be 3 weeks since the 4 Moti brothers were kidnapped on their way to school in Polokwane. The police have drawn a veil of secrecy over the case, concerned that leaked information could compromise the safety of the kidnapped boys. Let's speak now to a specialist crime investigator who for many years worked on kidnapping and other serious cases as a police detective and continues to do so in his private capacity now. Mike Bolhuis joins us. Mike, thank you so much for your time. You know, we're told traditionally that 24 hours, longer than that, your chance of finding a kidnapped person alive drop drastically. Would you say that's true in this particular case?
In this level of kidnappings, no. The children are kept for such a long time because eventually they will have the parents where they want them, where they will literally pay with their lives to get their kids back. It's heartbreaking to say, but this is this high level of kidnapping in South Africa where they take specifically foreigners, usually mature people, but in this case, they really did it. They went next level and took 4 kids, which is the most valuable possession of the family, and they are presently with the most valuable leverage that they can have. And I absolutely believe it's on that level that they will at a stage make a call after they're ready, and they will demand millions of rands to be paid overseas. This is definitely a transatlantic syndicate operating here. We've seen many of them before, and unfortunately they usually play out where the people pay millions to get their loved ones back. But they will look after the kids in the meantime, and they will not hurt or harm them in any way. But if they call, and when they call, it will be a matter of negotiation about an amount of money.
Mike, you are an investigator, you're a detective, you're used to looking for clues. What does the way the boys were snatched in such a brazen manner tell you about this operation, about who these people might be?
They are super professionals, like ourselves as specialist investigators. What they did here is they did a thorough investigation, proper identification, a risk analysis and evaluation, and then at the right time they removed the kids with leaving no evidence behind, nothing whatsoever. Nobody can blame the police here. My heart goes out to the police, and I want to warn the public that is constantly bickering and going on social media and have so much to say about the police here, and even us as private investigators. We are doing what we can. We have sent out resent out a proper project today. We're going out of our way. The police is going out of their way. But if you have no evidence, you cannot fabricate evidence. They have left nothing behind, no clues, and that is the big problem presently.
Is there a chance that these boys have been moved across our border?
There is a chance. Unfortunately, in reverse of what I've said earlier on, the authorities in our country, unfortunately, is not so up to scratch with checking who's going in and out, and the possibility. We see a lot of things going in and out, especially cars, but humans as well. The possibility of them being moved is there, but it's our opinion that it's not the case. It's our opinion that it's a syndicate that's operating with a transatlantic syndicate, and it is our opinion that they operate with banks. It could be in Hong Kong, Dubai, or elsewhere amongst the globe, and that they're just after the money, and they presently hiding the kids up to a point where they will demand an amount of money.
Do you know if a ransom has been asked for as yet?
No. There's very little information. There's very little information of the people involved, and it is obvious, taking consideration that these syndicates would not make a mistake. They will not give anything out or say anything that can be used as either evidence or as a lead. But they will also be very strict, and they will warn. They can easily tell the family that if any information leaks out, it could put the kids at danger. Do not underestimate these syndicates. They are violent as well, and they can turn violent if they can be confronted or identified. That's why it's very important not to divulge any information whatsoever whilst there is a negotiation in progress, because they will then harm the kids.
You say that these are likely transatlantic syndicates. What does that mean? Are we talking a syndicate from another country that's come to South Africa? Because we haven't seen kidnappings of this brazen nature very frequently in South Africa. So are we talking about a foreign syndicate that's come to South Africa and identified this potential ransom?
Yes, this has happened before, but as I've said with mature people, and transatlantic means it's just a group that is overseas dealing with a group in South Africa. This is a combined group. There are people working with overseas criminals and doing these high-profile criminals. They have hijacked several very rich businessmen before, and they have made multi-millions. They're very closely linked to other syndicates in Mozambique and countries close around us, but mostly with countries in the Dubai and in the even Chinese area, where they that's where they launder the money. That's where the money is going to go.
So with no clues from the scene of where these boys were taken, it's 3 weeks tomorrow. Basically, the family and to an extent the police are just waiting on the kidnappers to make contact. For every parent watching, this is terrifying. I wanted to ask you about the nature of kidnappings in South Africa. First of all, if they're on the rise, and if they're on the rise, whether it's ransom for money or sex trafficking of children that is the bigger risk at this point.
Yeah, there's many levels of kidnapping. If you do not bring your child home in a divorce case where you are supposed to, you can be taken down for kidnapping. Those are the most common, where people don't return kids in a relationship. Then there's other forms of kidnapping where somebody could be kidnapped in order to move a company or an institution or a business to make certain decisions. But this one is on the rise, this one specifically, where people are taken and held for ransom. And so far of this high-level kidnappings, we have been involved with quite a few, and they have all played out where they have paid multi-millions of rands. You must take in consideration, again, that these criminals are extremely professional. They do thorough investigations. They know exactly what they are doing. And their next step will be communication with the family, and there will be serious threats made. They will be literally said that if you speak to the police or private investigators or anybody, we will harm a child. They can actually get the children on the line. And you can think for yourself, as you has said before, it's heartbreaking what it does to parents. At that stage, that's where they would want the parents. And this is what the public must understand, why they are keeping the children for such a long time. The parents will literally pay with their lives. They will give any and everything. They would also know exactly how much the Moti family can pay. So the negotiation will be short, and then the children, in my opinion, will be released. I cannot say that this will happen before the end of the year, but usually this can take anything between a month or 6 months or sometimes a year. Cases that we have been involved with could even run up to 2 years, but they come back unharmed.
Well, Mike Bolhuis, absolutely chilling information, but potentially encouraging with your strong views that these boys are being held safely, but they will be ransom demanded by the kidnappers within the next while. Thank you so much, Specialist Crime Investigator Mike Bolhuis. Of course, it's 3 weeks tomorrow since these boys were snatched.